Well, for growing babies and growing kids, you want to make sure they're getting the best nutrition all the time. The last thing you want is to get them hooked on junk food. Well, that can be hard sometimes. So how do you get them off once they're hooked? Well, here to help you moms out there and your grandparents and the babysitters is nutritional consultant Gabrielle Welch. Gabrielle, thanks so much for coming in.
Sure, thanks for having me.
So you're a mom, three daughters, right?
3
8, 10, and
daughters,
12.
Yes, 8, 10, and 12.
You got your hands full. And the name of your book is called The Pizza Trap.
Correct.
What's that about?
You know, I chose this title because I feel like as a mom, and I see other moms struggling with what I call the pizza trap. And what it looks like is this. You come home from work or you come home from taking care of your kids, driving them around all day, and you know, you put a plate of healthy food in front of your children and you hear, I don't like it, I don't want it.
Right.
They start whining.
The whining starts.
The whining starts and your nerves are frayed and you're stressed. So you say, that's fine, I just want it to stop. So what do? What's the default? You put a pizza in the oven.
Right, because a pizza is going to feed everybody. It's easy, it's quick, but it's
Right.
really not the best choice. That's how kids can kind of start hooked into these like addictions of junk food. That's what they want all the time. So how do you break that kind of a junk food addiction?
Change begins at home, and you know we're the ones that drive the kids through the drive-thru. We're the ones that buy the groceries. We're the ones that make the food. So really it comes down to the choices that we make to be responsible parents.
Yeah, I think it's true because having lived it myself, there were a lot of battles I did with, you know, the fish and the greens on the plate.
Right.
And I can say now that they're teenagers, they actually like that kind of food.
Absolutely.
So it does pay off in the end. All right, so what about some practical advice? What kind of good practical advice do you have for parents out there?
These are your children. They are your most precious asset. So why are you not putting them first? And I think that we need to remember too that as parents, there's nothing we experience with our kids that we don't create, promote, or allow.
Right. It really is an important thing. Now, one of the things that you talk about is this idea of swapping, you know, the junk food for the good food. So
Absolutely.
what are some examples of some healthy swaps for, you know, junk food?
Well, so here today I brought some coconut water and some Gatorade. And in my book, I talk about how coconut water is nature's Gatorade. It gives your body the same nutrients as a Gatorade would, without the MSG, without the food dye, without the high sugar content, the high salt content. So there definitely are ways to go through and swap out and make better choices for your children.
Okay, so you could swap it out, but what good is it if you put it in the pantry and nobody eats it?
Right, and here's how it goes. If you buy junk food and you serve your kids junk food, they're gonna eat junk food. If you buy real food that's not in a wrapper or a bag, and give that to them and make that available to them, that's what they're gonna eat.
Yeah, I also find that getting them involved in the process helps. Did you find that cooking with them and showing them that?
Cooking, shopping, you know, you can teach them math. Measurements, cooking as well. I love getting my kids involved in the kitchen.
Yeah, and I've taught them how to be label readers as well. So how do you take back control? Let's say you've lost it and everything's gone. What would you say is the one thing you should do to take back control of the situation?
The one thing you should do, God, you're making it difficult.
Okay, a couple of things you should do. Wipe out the pan and get all the junk food out of the house?
You know, that would be one.
Right.
But I think, you know, it's really important these days. Many parents are afraid to say no. And I see more and more that the children are taking over. And I think, you know, it may not be convenient, but it's necessary. So, you know, we're letting children that aren't even old enough to tie their own shoes by themselves make decisions about what they're putting into their body day in and day out. And that's wrong on so many levels.
Yeah. My mom used to say it's easy to be easy, it's hard to be hard.
That's right.
So, right. There you go.
That's
Gabrielle,
great.
thanks so much for coming.
Sure,
I really appreciate it.
thank
And all the
you.
moms out there appreciate it as well.